You know what you look like to me with your good bag and your cheap shoes? You look like a rube.
In 1991, a film arrived that would change horror forever. It didn't rely on jump scares, masked slashers, or supernatural entities. Instead, it held up a mirror to the darkest corners of the human psyche. The untold truth of The Silence of the Lambs is that it wasn't just a movie, it was a psychological autopsy of real American nightmares. While we watched from the safety of the theater, the screen was reflecting the faces of men who had actually walked among us. Tonight, we go beneath the surface to uncover the disturbing reality hidden in the shadows of the frame. The film follows FBI trainee Clarice Starling. She is assigned to interview the imprisoned Dr. Hannibal Lecter, hoping his brilliant mind can help capture another killer known as Buffalo Bill. Lecter is portrayed by Anthony Hopkins. Despite appearing on screen for only 16 minutes, the character became one of the most iconic villains in movie history. But the Doctor didn't come entirely from imagination. He was inspired by someone very real. Author Thomas Harris created the character after meeting a mysterious prisoner in a Mexican jail in the 1960s. The man's name was Alfredo Bali Trevino. Trevino was a brilliant surgeon. He was polite, intelligent, and soft-spoken. But he had also murdered a close friend and skillfully dismembered the body. When Harris met him, he was struck by how calm and refined the killer seemed, a monster hidden behind perfect manners. That chilling contradiction became the DNA of Hannibal Lecter. The killer known as Buffalo Bill is a Frankenstein's monster of real-life depravity. He kidnaps women, kills them, and removes their skin to create a suit. As horrifying as that sounds, his methods were pulled directly from FBI files. Ed Gein, the Plainfield ghoul who, in 1957, was found to have fashioned household items and clothing from human remains. Ted Bundy, the charismatic killer who famously used a fake cast and a sling to lure unsuspecting women into his car by asking for help. The film didn't invent these horrors, it simply organized them into a single, terrifying character. The climax of the film is a masterclass in tension. Clarice Starling enters the pitch-black basement, and the audience is forced to watch through the killer's green-tinted night vision goggles. We see what Clarice cannot, the killer standing inches behind her, reaching out, breathing, and waiting. It is a moment that taps into our most primal fear, the fear of being watched by something we cannot see. The Silence of the Lambs achieved the Big Five at the Academy Awards, winning Best Picture, Director, Actor, Actress, and Screenplay. It remains one of the only horror thrillers to ever dominate the Oscars in such a way. But its true legacy isn't the gold statues. It's the unsettling realization that the monsters in this story weren't entirely fictional. They were echoes of men who once walked the real world. The line between fiction and reality is often thinner than we'd like to believe. The Silence of the Lambs reminded us that the most terrifying monsters don't hide under the bed. They sit across from us at dinner, speaking in calm, cultured voices. If you want to dive deeper into the dark history and hidden stories behind the world's most famous mysteries, subscribe to Untold Truth. We pull back the curtain on the secrets they didn't want you to find. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, the truth is often stranger and darker than fiction.